Evening, everybody. So it's been a little while since we did a LinkedIn hard mode challenge answer video, and I'm going to remedy that right now. I'm waiting for my boss to get back to me on some content that I submitted to him, so we're going to make good use of our time. Now, question came up the other day when I posted about the importance, yes, the crushing importance of sending an introductory message with your LinkedIn connection. Now, I believe strongly about this. You can argue with me until you're blue in the face, and I will die on this hill, okay? So let's leave it at that. But the question did come up, how do you request a connection? And I know a lot of people feel a bit clunky about that. It seems very awkward. Your space is a little limited. So let's talk about that. And I feel like I'm pretty good at this, so I want to help you guys out, okay? So first of all, remember that you have two options. You have something called an InMail, or you have the message that kind of comes free with the connection. You can think about that as the little card that comes with the flowers when you buy them. Now, an InMail, if you don't have LinkedIn Premium, I think it costs a little bit of money. I think you get that back if somebody answers your InMail. If you have LinkedIn Premium, you get a certain number free, but it's still a finite asset, and you kind of want to save those silver bullets for the big fish, if you will. So generally, when you're sending connections, and if you're trying to network and build a big and robust network, you're going to be sending those regular messages, and those are limited to 300 characters. Now, if you do the math, don't bother, I've done it for you. Probably works out to about 40 to 50 words. You can squeeze in 5, maybe even 6 sentences if you're a little circumspect. So, how do you use those sentences, that finite space? Let's jump in the Wayback Machine for just a second and talk about how we're requesting connections, okay? Because I feel like this is not well known. I'm gonna double tap this. On mobile, remember we gotta look for that little circle with the 3 dots. Don't just click the big connect button. Circle with the 3 dots is gonna bring you to a drop-down menu, and you're gonna click personalize invite, and it's gonna take you straight to that message. On desktop, if they've got the big blue connect button up, hit that, and it's going to ask you if you want to attach a message. If they've got creator mode, it's going to have the follow button up. Again, you're going to look for those 3 dots and then choose to connect. Some people, it's going to say, are you sure? You don't know them. Maybe you want to follow. If you keep pressing through, you're going to get to a connect button, and then it's going to prompt you to add a message. Trust me, you want to add a message, or you wouldn't be watching the video. Now, how are we going to make this message? How are we going to do this without feeling clunky and awkward? Well, I want you to remember 3 things, and this is probably the worst acronym I've ever come up with, but it's PEH, and I can't think of anything good that goes with that, so I'm open to your ideas. Always be polite, engaging, and humble. We're not exactly Glenn Ross here. And we're going to see how that reflects through these steps. Okay, how are we going to start off? We're going to start with a polite greeting. Don't overthink it. You can say, dear sir, ma'am, Mr. Bellamy. I will always tell people, hey, please stop calling me that. But if they're a PhD, you call them doctor, whatever title they have. You can't really go wrong if you're polite and a little bit over formal. They'll generally back you off right off the bat. The second thing you want to do is you want to introduce yourself and you want to gain interest. Why should this person be interested in you? If you have some sort of common thread, you probably want to throw it right out there. I know that whenever I connect with someone who's a military veteran, better believe that's the first card I'm going to play. Hey, brother, sister, I see we were in the Marine Corps together. I see we served in Iraq together, this, that, and the other. But tell them why they should want to connect with you. At least something interesting about yourself, what industry you're in, why are you interested in that? And then you want to explain to them why them and why a connection. How do you know them? How did their name come up? Don't admit to being like a creepy stalker, but if you listen to their podcast, if you like their YouTube channel, if you like their content that you've seen on LinkedIn, if they're in a company that you have interest in, tread lightly on that because they might get a little skeeved out that you're going to ask for a job right off the bat. But why them and why a connection? Why is it not adequate for you to just follow them? A connection implies that the two of you are going to do something for each other. That you're going to write a referral eventually, that you're going to, become friends or converse professionally. There's some sort of exchange there. It's not a one-way street. Otherwise, you just click that big blue follow button and enjoy their content. I want to point something out here. I'm going to keep this gender neutral, although it's generally a point of men doing not so great things towards women. I have been the victim of this the other direction, and so I'm just going to say for everybody, nowhere in here is it appropriate to comment about someone's appearance, really in any way. Maybe if it's two guys or like, hey, I see you have a beard, I have a beard too, that might be okay. But just stay away from that stuff. You're only going to get yourself in trouble. Should go without saying, but we'll say it anyway. All right. And then that fourth part is the ask. What are you going to ask for? Well, unless there's some strange and wonderful circumstance going on here, if you're on LinkedIn, you're sending a connection request, you're asking them for a connection. You might think it's obvious, put it in writing. And that's where you really want to be humble. You get into some funny situations sometimes where I have X number of followers and you have X number of followers. I will always ask to join someone else's network. If I'm sending the request, the ask is mine, the favor is theirs to give. I would love to join your network. If you're sending the request, you be humble, doesn't matter who you're sending it to. And then a polite sign off. Now I'm going to make a point right here for my military brothers and sisters who are going through their transition. Please don't put VR. In the civilian world, VR means virtual reality. Nobody understands what that stands for. Now, if they did understand what it stood for, they wouldn't like it, because very respectfully sounds like you're a butler or a valet unless you're in the military. I understand, put that at the bottom of every email I ever sent in the Marine Corps. It means very respectfully you're addressing people potentially of senior rank, and you want to be respectful even in electronic form. Don't do it. If you're military and you're on LinkedIn, presumably you're preparing for transition, prepare your vocabulary for transition as well. Proper polite sign-offs, cheers, best wishes, best regards, have a nice day, any of these things. Again, same thing with the greeting. Don't overthink it. If you're polite, it's not going to sound that clunky, and besides, nobody is going to sit here and deny you a connection because your 300-character message wasn't exactly Shakespeare. It's really simple, folks. The more you think about it, the more awkward it's going to feel. Just be polite, engaging, humble, let it rip. And if that person doesn't want to connect with you, oh well. There's millions more using LinkedIn out there, and one of them is going to have a job for you. Hey, those of you that have joined the LinkedIn Hard Mode Challenge, I think we're at about 150 now, which is amazing. I'm going to try and keep making these videos as long as I have time to do them, and as long as my wife doesn't start wringing my neck for not getting home on time. Love all the enthusiasm, guys. Love all of the content. Hopefully it's working for you. Please let me know how you're doing with it, and I'll see you later.